Tonight, David gets out his floppy. More debuts, part 4. And the 2006 Atlantic hurricane season is released. Now, sometimes we can all mince up words, and for some people it's more unfortunate than for others, especially when one particular cyclone happens to be the deadliest one that we've ever witnessed or known about ever in the storm record. Of course, I'm talking about the bowler cyclone of 1970, which Devon Williams had a little bit of trouble with once.
So at number 2, we have the other wildcard storm, and this may come as a little bit of a shock that it's number 2. And I'm going to go with the 1970 Bogota. Oh wow, I messed up. Did I just say that?
Wow, not bad.
I didn't even finish the word, and I stopped myself.
Nice work. Bohola.
Oh, help me, Jesus, I have sinned.
It just happened, honestly. And I heard the audio. I was like, oh no. And yeah, these things happen. It's basically like a mental typo.
In my opinion, one of Force 13's best features at the end of the year, apart from Force 13 week, is the World Cyclone Report, in which all of the storms that formed in the previous year are listed, analysed, and plenty of data comes out of it as well as a few storm write-ups and reports. We've been doing the World Cyclone Report properly since 2015, although we did do a small data sheet in the previous year, 2014. With the 2018 one coming up, here's what we've done so far in previous World Cyclone Reports. Yes, it's now what we do at the end of every year. This is what last year's World Cyclone Report looked like in 2017, showing the fantastic imagery and, of course, all the information. It begins by talking about what happened during the year, what the sea surface temperature setup was, and then it lists all of the storms by several different criteria, first of all by intensity, and then by its damages. Also on the World Cyclone Report is all kinds of other little bits and bobs, including statistics, graphical charts of trends over the last few years, particularly in terms of storm numbers. And in 2018 we're probably going to have several other features on there as well, such as ACE calculations and whatever else we can get to calculate before the end of the year when it comes out. We expect the World Cyclone Report for 2018 will be released in the first week of January. Now, there's plenty of things you can do with the word floppy. You can criticise my live events as being just a little bit floppy. But, way back when, we had little storage devices called floppy disks. You remember those? Some of you may not by now. It's been such a long time since they were all the rage. One or two people thought that was a little bit amusing though, and, well, just how far can innuendo get you?
Is it that long ago? Well, I think we might have to do an update. But I knew what you were up to. I just went along with you. But what does one say about the support? The comments in the chat, bring out the floppy disk. But I had a massive bag of 3 1/4 discs. And one of my brother-in-laws relocating, and the next minute it had gone to the rubbish dump. So, but now computers, 3 1/4 floppies, well, it's all the computers now is solid state, but it was, I'm not going to say a challenge, but you're trying to set the trap. But you've seen the 5.5 inch floppy disk, haven't you?
Well, I've got an 8-inch floppy.
With the whole.
What? With a hole in it? No. Well, sort of.
I had a computer where you used to push the floppy in, and it had probably about a half an inch. This is.
Jason, control yourself. Yeah, you push it in, and then you did what? And then you jiggled it about a bit, didn't you?
No,
You're not recording this, are you?
you're going to get me laughing up.
Oh, yes.
I know what you two are thinking, and
Yeah, you wriggle
So,
it about, find the spot that fits best, the bit that feels good.
I'm just thinking of the age of the computers.
Yeah.
My mind is on computers.
So your
Not
floppy
what-
disk
not
is...
what your two not.
So your
what-
floppy disk is mature, so to speak.
I'm not going to. You're not going to get me.
I want to get you.
Yes, this would be good for the bloopers, wouldn't it?
So go on. What did you do with your floppy?
I'd end up in the dump. But I've got replacements. I've got the external ones now.
Oh, no.
So we often get questions on Force 13 as to what the, I guess the most intense storm that's ever appeared on a full season animation of any kind. Well, I think right up there are some of the storms that featured in the 2017 what might have been Atlantic hurricane season. Let me remind you. In the real world, no one will ever forget the moment that 3 significant hurricanes were active in the Atlantic during 2017: Irma, Katia, and Jose. Well, the what might have been version was even more petrifying. The first strange thing happening was Ennis making a Category 3 landfall on the Windward Islands during July. The funniest thing is that Irene was still in use in the What Might Have Been universe because it hadn't been retired in 2011, and Jose was there lingering as well. As you can see, they formed much earlier in the What Might Have Been season than in the real world for their letters. Irene made landfall as a Category 4 on the Yucatan Peninsula, and Jose went and affected Florida as a Category 2. You'd think that's bad enough? Well, wait until September. You see, it was actually Lenny that made landfall near New Orleans as a very strong storm in the 2005 What Might Have Been season. Katrina survived, and actually, the funny thing is, Katrina was the only system that was not a hurricane in the 2005 animation, but here it is paying back in a big way. So the question on everyone's lips as we reached the very end of the animation where we come up with the summaries was, how strong was Katrina? Over the years, Force 13 has produced several music collections, putting together all the finest music that occurred on the project in that time period. The first one was in 2013, followed by several others in 2014, 15 and 16. There was an acoustic music collection in 2017, and in 2018, of course, we did the Cosmic Collection. Now, I'm not going to tell you anything about if there's any more coming up just yet, but here's a look back at some of the music collections of the past. Very early on in Force 13's music production, there came about the idea of doing a music collection, at least at the end of the year, the first year that we did create music, which was 2013. This is what the 2013 music collection looked like, and some of the songs. And in 2015, into 2016. Also featuring the Mega Mix. Into 2017 and an acoustic music collection with a medley of Force 13 songs. And finally in 2018 with the Cosmic Collection.
You're listening to Sound 13's Cosmic Collection 2018.
Force 13 entered 2018 with those new automated graphics, and what proved to be just a little bit of a challenge was doing coverage live of Cyclone Bogota. We did several days because the storm stalled, and then it moved on towards Mauritius and eventually didn't do that much when it arrived. Certainly could have been a lot worse. However, this is what Cyclone Bogota coverage looked like on Force 13 as we entered the early part of this year. Cyclone Bogota is also notable in the recorded storm updates because it was the first time Force 13 had partnered up with a group elsewhere outside of the project, another project in Mauritius local to the area called Meteorological Maurice. We're still in regular contact with them, and we do cover all of the storms together in the southwest Indian Ocean, especially when they're affecting Mauritius, just as Bogota did in January. A few dozen miles northwest of Rodrigues, which it has stalled near for the last few hours. It's got winds of 65 miles an hour and a pressure of 988 millibars. This storm continues to intensify and is likely to become a Category 1 hurricane equivalent storm later on today or tomorrow. This is the forecast according to the GFS model, giving you some idea of what track we're expecting and the intensity. A significant cyclone affecting both of the main islands, Mauritius and Réunion, is quite likely in the midweek part of this coming week. On so many model runs, it's said that a major cyclone would be barreling towards the islands and either making landfall or on one or the other. It sort of filtered between the two, as did the models. However, in the end, that didn't happen at all. Ethan Foy, and this is another production from Force 13 HQ, and we're of course tracking Cyclone Bogota, which is currently located just to the northwest still of Rodrigues, and this storm has now barely moved at all in the last 24 hours, which you will see properly on the satellite imagery, I'm sure. Here at the Force 13 HQ, it's just ticked over to Monday morning, January the 15th, midnight UTC in Mauritius. It's 4 o'clock, and we'll be here for at least the next 2 hours talking to you about what is going on with the storm and what's changed and what more we can deduce in this sort of phase that we are in. We're at the phase before the storm, isn't it, for Mauritius, and many of us for Rodrigues. It's a little bit of a let-off. So as it turned out, the storm stalling for a day or two resulted in its ultimate demise and its downfall, and only allowed the storm to strike Mauritius as a Category 1, weakening to tropical storm status as it passed Mauritius. Now this might be a good question for the Super Cyclone Challenge. What was the first animation that featured landfall dots on the full season animations from Force 13? Any guesses? Maybe? Maybe not. I can't see you through that lens. Well, I could tell you the answer. It was the 1996 Atlantic hurricane season, which I don't even recall when that was uploaded, probably early 2012. I'm sure I'll correct myself if I'm wrong on this VT. Iconic, definitely, but it was actually in late 2011 that the first landfall dots appeared on the videos, before Force 13 even existed. As a matter of fact, the 1996 Atlantic hurricane season animation was the last one to be released on the old channel before Force 13 launched. Only a small exclusive club of people remember that old channel, and only they know what it was called. There you can see the first landfall dot made by Tropical Storm Arthur in 1996. Landfall dots had a bit of a shake-up in 2018, and that is the first time that there has been a revision of the landfall dots in their 7-year history. Remarkable. Now, back in 2015, when we had only just started doing live events for the first time, that was quite worrying in itself, scary for me at least. It is quite difficult putting yourself out there, and when you've never done it before, and to actually, produce something that people will benefit from, either through information or otherwise. Well, the first ever live stream that we did on an actual storm was during cyclones Lam and Marcia, with emphasis on Marcia as it struck Australia in 2015. It's such a far cry from what we see on Force 13 today, it's almost alien. Indeed, on the first ever Force 13 live stream for a storm, it was a whole 3 hours long, covering cyclones Lam and Marcia. Joining me was Michael Scott and Daniel Hudson.
Hello there, we're on the air, I believe. Hopefully we are. That would be very good if we are, because that means we're on the air. We're talking about the 2 Australian storms which are currently active at this time. It's a big news event at the moment. We've got Cyclone Lam, which has made landfall in the Northern Territories of Australia. It's a Category 1 cyclone, 75 miles per hour as of 9 p.m. UTC. Of course, we also have news on Marcia as well, which is perhaps the biggest story here, a Category 5 storm on the Australian scale. It was a Category 4 storm on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale, but has weakened since to a Category 3 storm with winds of 125 miles per hour. Air pressure is 941 millibars. Storm's going to move inland. It will hug the coast for a little bit, staying just inland, likely to pass directly over the towns of Yeppoon and Rockhampton, and then move continuing towards the south and eventually southeast. Could also track directly over Brisbane. You see that guy out on the street there.
At the time, it was hailed as a major success. I don't quite remember what the view counts were, but I think they were into the hundreds by the end. Not concurrent viewers, but in total. That was certainly pretty phenomenal for the time. Early 2015, first proper live event, and it really did act as the springboard for everything else that followed. One of my personal highlights in the history of Force 13 is when we visited the National Hurricane Centre back in 2014. I wish I could go again now and have a little chat with them about storms that have happened this year. Of course, we're in a bit of a lean spell in the early part of 2014 after the previous year. But we did manage to have a little bit of a chat whilst we were there. My mind went blank. My mind went completely blank when I was in there. I disappointed everyone. But the visit was still something to remember. It's almost 5 years now since the National Hurricane Centre visit, but I'd sure love to go again sometime soon. At the time of my visit, I was doing a feature on Florida's hurricane history for Cyclone Education Week that year, and I asked 1 or 2 questions that my tiny mind could put forward because I'd gone completely blank.
So what sort of storms, what do you think the worst storms in Florida have been in the past, say, 50 to 60 years?
Well, one of the worst storms in Florida, actually a little older than that, going back to 1935, when we had a Category 5 hurricane strike in the Florida Keys, and it is actually the 3rd strongest hurricane of record in the Atlantic Basin, as best as we can determine. Florida has been hit by a whole bunch of other strong storms, more recently Hurricane Andrew in 1992, which made landfall here in Miami-Dade County, a few miles south of the office we're sitting in now. That was also Category 5 hurricane, pressure 922 millibars, and it's the 3rd strongest U.S. landfalling hurricane. As you point out, the 1935 hurricane is the strongest U.S. landfalling hurricane of record, and I think the 3rd strongest in the Atlantic Basin as a whole. About 2 hours, and we're doing all this coordination. And after all that is done, we sit down and start finish up the advisory. We've already done a lot of it, and we have a suite of products that goes out. It includes a public advisory, which is a text information product in it, a forecast advisory, which has got a set of somewhat coded information but tells you where the storm's going and all the important parameters. It's read by a lot of computerized software out there, so it has a rather fixed format. A tropical cyclone discussion where the meteorologists on duty, like myself, can write whatever they like about what the storm is doing and what we're doing with the forecast.
It wasn't just Jack Bevan's tour of the National Hurricane Centre, however. There were others on hand as well. Sadly, I was more intrigued to actually listening to them than filming them, so I'm afraid no more footage.
But it would be literally covering the entire Atlantic, but really a large part of the ocean.
Now, it's not very often as a host that I get completely frustrated and I vacate the chair. It has happened once or twice, and I can tell you the last time it happened. It was during September 2018, during Guess the Storm, when I was presenting that one, and it ended absolutely horribly. I don't think you need any extra commentary on this one, just watch.
Okay, well, I have one last good image for us to use.
Well,
and
there's
everyone,
no point. Well,
everyone will enjoy this one though. This is a wholesome, family-friendly one.
I don't care, there's no point. The viewers have won.
It's a family-friendly. Everyone will have fun with it though.
The viewers have won.
No, but I don't. Even if they won, everyone will still have fun.
How can people have fun with that?
No, trust me. Everyone will be happy when they know what the answer is.
It's on the screen now, but I'm ending the stream. I don't care.
No,
I don't care what the answer is.
Everyone's gonna enjoy
I don't care what the answer is.
It's a meme. It's a meme. Everyone knows this one. It's a meme. It's a joke. If someone has called me a meme myself.
God
no, I
damn it.
seriously, people don't get this in like 10 seconds. They said it in the chat like all night.
You know, this is just...
Like, I've seen multiple guesses calling this in the past. Okay, no, think. I called it a meme. What memes do we have? And I don't know if you download it, if you can look at the file name, but you'll be able to know based off the word.
I'm going there.
Nathan will be able to know from the file name.
No, the name is Bye.
Yeah, and what meme starts with by? I swear you guys don't get this. What meme starts with by? Like, alright?
Oh, that's Felicia.
Yes!
Oh, stop, please. Just no. You're not gonna be on the team anymore. That's it. It's settled.
I don't know. This is just a. I think we've reached new lows after the highs that we had last week. We've just we're gone. I don't know what to say, folks. I don't know what to say to you. I think we're just.
Everyone in the chat is happy.
I think we should
Cleveland
just go and fade down all the microphones right now and never come back. Good night.
No, we need to keep providing our services to the people.
Strat this
People are
like
begging us
single-handedly.
not to end this stream. We can't do this to them. They're begging for us not to leave them. But they're saying stay!
It's over, Strat. You wanted it. No, blame Strat for this. Blame Strat.
Well, I did nothing wrong.
You did everything wrong.
Alright, you know what? You're not gonna say that once I lock down a sponsor, alright?
You've done nothing wrong, but neither have you done anything right.
I've created Patreon. Dare say that. Oh wait, our audio's still on, guys. It's the music too. They can still hear us. They can hear us right now.
And Nathan has left his camera up and he's away.
Yeah, no, they can hear our audio, guys.
Hey, whoever's a mod in the stream, post that straw poll.
He's
Alright.
first time.
Okay, I posted the straw poll.
Where's he gone?
Welcome back to the studio. This is Force 13 Live, Force 13 Week 2018. Well, we didn't know until very recently that we'd be taking the decision to only run 10 of them each day from here on in, which means that we'll now be streaming every day until Sunday night. So Sunday night's the top 10, just so you know. I'm joined right now by our team, quite an extensive team once again, a lot of the same faces as last time, but one notable different face from last time is Devon, so we'll start with him. Devon.
Hooray, I actually don't have to work tonight.
The Bohola Cyclone
Yeah.
happened. I mean, we sort of discussed that enough anyway. I don't know if you have any other comments about this fantastic or very strange week so far.
Well, the only comment that I really do have is it's nice to look back on old times and see what the pop project has been famous or infamous for.
Mostly
over the
Strat
past
infamy,
4 or 5
really.
years. It's been an interesting ride, to say the least.
The band Strat movement was alive and well again tonight, Strat.
It was totally worth it to see you get out of that chair, man.
I know. Yeah.
Always has been alive.
Everyone in the chat loved it. You know, they enjoyed it back during that stream a couple months ago, and they certainly enjoy it now. There's someone in the chat named I Love Strat saying that he or she loves me.
Can we put them in timeout by any chance?
No, whoa. I'm gonna get the moderator action.
Someone wants to know if I have a favourite Queen song. You know, I've never really given it thought about a particular one. I do like a lot of their music, but I couldn't put it down to just one. I'm sure Isaac would give you a much fairer answer. Because he is madly into Queen, as far as I understand. Interesting question to start off on. Well, we've not got the Super Cyclone Challenge tonight. I know.
Killer.
So sad, isn't it? There are 2 more episodes left to run. They will be hopefully tomorrow night. We're definitely doing one tomorrow night, and if I just lift the webcam slightly, it's a bit low there, and hopefully one on Saturday night. Who knows? Now that we're running into Sunday, that might be on Sunday. It's a bit of a mess, really. All that you know is, all that we know, just as much as you do, is that we're here every night till Sunday. Also, the length of the streams have been shortened a little bit for the last 4 days, down to 90 minutes, which sort of makes it a little bit more digestible. Tonight, we're going to just have a general chit-chat, send in your questions and comments. We'll also be discussing all the storms that formed in August and September this year, which could take up most of the 50 minutes that we've got.
Did we do July?
Sorry, we've done July.
Did we do July?
We've done July.
Okay.
Yeah, and also we've got Debuts Part 4, very short one today, and the 2006 Atlantic Hurricane season, which some people aren't very happy about because they wish it was a different one. Ain't that right, Ram?
You're 1 year off from 2005 V5. That's what we all want.
Come on, 2005 is overrated.
Overrated.
Disagree, but okay.
Well,
pressing X to doubt.
There we are. I don't know if anyone has any more comments about what we've just seen before we move on.
I will say the floppy disk incident was classic.
David.
Trying to make David into it, but
Did you have to bring it up? I
Of course we
was listening intently to the silence.
We
and
have to.
you had to raise it.
Intently to the silence, what do you mean?
Well, there's a pause. I thought no one was going to respond, and Tim took
just
over
then.
the mic. So,
Just then, yes.
But to our viewers, that is a example of how funny things can get.
I was wondering what you were going to come out with just then.
Someone
it
asked.
was. No delay button on this live stream event. So.
Yeah, so I have to be extra vigilant.
Yeah, someone asked why the floppy disk was so low. They expected it to be higher, and to another person
we're in the
that asked
30s
about
now.
how to join this. There's a link to join the Discord server in the description, and I'll put it in the chat for you right now as well. Oh no, that's the live stream chat. Oops.
What are you doing?
Great
Someone
job.
asked how they can join. I was gonna give them the link to the Discord server, and I accidentally put the link to the live stream.
Can anyone tell me why Strat has access to the Force 13 account, really?
That's a good question.
Okay, let's just get it trending. Let's just realize, let's just get it trending right now. Down here, hashtag ban Strat.
Whoa!
It's getting trending here in the comments. It's getting trending on Twitter right now. Hashtag ban Strat.
Oh boy.
If you don't
Get it in the chat right now.
Don't go to Twitter.
In fact,
Hashtag ban
on my phone
Strat.
right here.
Right in the chat,
tweet
guys.
that out right now.
No Twitter. My college apps are pending.
Everyone.
Oh, shut up,
Alright.
Strat. This is unbelievable.
Just let me drown my coke.
Ban Strat. Tag.
Are you actually
Force
tweeting that right now?
13.
I think he is.
Wait a
And
second.
there it is.
I want to take a screenshot of that tweet.
Hold up.
So
If I had a Twitter, I'd
Actually,
retweet it.
Oh, God.
I'm going to
There
tweet
you
it.
go.
I need to see this.
If anyone
everybody
does
get
Twittering,
Ban Strat trending.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna keep tabs on that and see if Ban Strat gets more than a
He
handful
just
of.
tweeted it
Yep.
15 seconds ago. Hashtag ban Strat.
I also hope you
Google
know.
ban Strat.
I hope you know who posted. Let's see. I think it must have been Nelson who posted 2 of the Twitter things saying that we're going to be live today for Force 13 week, and in the hashtags is ban Strat.
Are you away?
Classic Nelson.
I
And
tweeted twice today. What?
I'm just looking back on November the 3rd, Tyler Harris said hashtag banstrat. And another one has just come in from Charker123, hashtag banstrat. At Force13, at Force13US. So, if that gains traction, then I will really be in fits of laughter myself, and Strat's life will be ruined.
Oh, it won't be. His life won't be ruined. His life won't be ruined.
It will
but
to him.
He's gonna have one hell of a story to tell his friends.
He needs to find.
He's gonna be
better,
like, "Hey, my name got trending on Twitter."
If I just sign up for Twitter right now, my first tweet is hashtag banstrat.
Go, what's your question?
Is there any more audio of that segment between Nelson and Strat that is
Oh, there's plenty more. The whole thing was 15 minutes long. 15 minutes. I can't play it all here because I can't guarantee.
yet to come?
Well, we will air that at some point, I'm sure. I don't know when.
Someone else just tweeted hashtag banstrat as well.
Yeah,
who was it? Let's give him a shout
Salad
out.
Sports has said hashtag banstrat. Alex is trash. Alex with two X's. The only reason I would put banstrat in a hashtag is so I can be mentioned in a Force 13 stream.
Are you serious?
That's a good one.
Guys, if you
Nice.
want to say hashtag banstrat, please tweet it to get it trending rather than just type it in the chat here.
And
So
Okami da Bomb
Kevin.
says hashtag ban narwhals.
What?
What? Why? Narwhals are cool.
Man. And also someone
Exactly.
said impeach Devin.
Really? Impeach Devon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Impeach
That's
Devin.
so.
There we go. That's another one.
We've
And
got a
here's another
war
one.
on our
Hashtag ban
hands.
someone, maybe Nathan, just came in.
Yeah? What?
Hashtag ban someone, maybe
Yeah.
Nathan
Well-
just came in.
Ban me if you want, but good luck with that.
Along with
There's-
impeach
oh,
Strat,
Oh,
find
you made
Devin
me
guilty.
type impeach Nathan.
There's a new
Well
hashtag
done,
banstrat
Frank.
tweet.
Thanks for your support.
Hashtag ban Nathan, hashtag impeach Nathan, hashtag imprison Devin, which is spelled wrong. Hashtag ban Jason, hashtag impeach Force 13, hashtag impeach Devin, hashtag impeach
YouTube
Nathan.
comment section never fails to disappoint
This is
me.
bad news.
Hashtag Ram. That's an interesting one. Hi,
Strat
Kane.
Becker types, screw it, give me fame, hashtag banstrat, hashtag Nelson sucks.
Hashtag no.
Oh, come on. Hashtag demonetize F13.
You spelled force wrong.
Whoa,
You spelled force
do not
wrong.
demonetize.
Hashtag the prison Devin. Hashtag ban Ram. Thank you. Hashtag ban Frank.
All right.
Hashtag impeach YouTube.
I'm sure this will continue to get out of control. In the meantime, we'll come back to all of this. I want to talk about some certain storms that formed in August and September 2018. First of all, some fantastic International Space Station imagery of Lane. Hurricane Lane.
That's right.
What did everyone think
It was
of
just
Lane?
in the right lane.
That was
Touche.
It was a near miss. We got lucky.
Oh, these.
Hawaii got very lucky.
They really did.
That's a
If
great
it's
picture, by the way.
Forecast, they would have got slammed really hard.
That was a picture of Hurricane Lane. That was on August the 18th. There's another one. This is a little
What happened at
later.
the start of September? There was something at like the first 4 days of September.
August 21st.
Gordon was early.
Gordon, that's what happened. Yeah, I was looking. There's like a
The
spike.
forgettable one.
And there's another
Yeah,
one.
that was a forgettable storm. But that's from the U.S. channel did like an overnight live stream. Nelson did that, so that was pretty cool.
They certainly did.
And that was like, yeah, and that was actually the first live stream I've been on Force 13.
Just trying to find some pictures of Gordon. One or two people suggest that Gordon was a hurricane.
Wait a second.
False.
Some random person on November 2nd typed hashtag banstrat.
Yeah, I told you about that before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gordon was kind of.
I would like to say right now that my tweet has already gotten 3 likes.
Strat's
also
in
joining
trouble.
The hashtag banstrat movement on Twitter are Lee, King Lucarius, Strat himself.
So he supports it.
Alex is trash. Screw it, give me the fame. Hashtag banstrat. Hashtag Nelson sucks. That's Strat himself.
Oh, that
And
was
this
from
is why I
Strat.
don't this is why I don't mess with Twitter.
Oh, Ryan Lakey followed me. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate
God
it.
damn it.
Now all you gotta do is subscribe to the YouTube channel as well.
Now, the
Like-
image on the screen.
Look at Strat's old YouTube channel.
Oh, yes.
No.
Hey, Strat's
no.
old
I
YouTube
swear,
channel's the best.
anyone that links that in the chat will get timed out and banned from the chat.
Oh,
All right,
that's
that's me.
outrageous.
okay, that's censorship. That's against the rules.
I don't
Outrageous.
care. No one's exposing that channel.
Anyway, look at
Strat,
this.
you're being a dictator.
That's my job.
No, it isn't.
Well, it's alright.
That's
well,
not
the
your
content-
job.
The image on the screen.
Just
Guys,
because you have
image on
access to
God.
the main channel
I can't
doesn't
get
mean
going.
you control everything.
Image on the screen. What is it?
These guys are too busy arguing with each other. This is the image of Tropical Storm Florence when it was first named.
Oh,
There it is.
What day was that?
Lawrence.
So that was on September 1st.
That was. Things got so crazy. You know, we beat Debbie's views in
There's
2 days in a
another
row.
another image on September 1st. September 2nd. That was mostly due to Man Cup, our view count. But moving on, September 4th, there it is developing the eye. September 5th, there is the eye. September 5th again, its first peak when it reached Category 4 status. There it is.
Category 4.
Maybe that's the best picture.
Was Florence the first time a storm got to Category 4, weakened to a tropical storm, and got to Category 4 again?
I actually don't know.
Great question.
I think Hank said
That's
something
actually
about that.
that's actually a pretty interesting question.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Hank said something about that. but I
Probably
don't
is,
know
you
that
know,
for sure.
probably is.
Georgia's only got to 2, right?
I have no idea.
And I think that the strongest Frederick got before getting into the Gulf was just a tropical storm. I don't think Hugo weakened to a tropical storm, did it? No.
Highly
I just
doubt.
see all the images of Florence floating around the screen.
Yeah, I'm just skimming through, getting to chronology. September 10th, there it is again, getting to Category 4 status, I assume. There's later on the 10th.
There was Helene there to the right.
Yes,
as
yes.
well.
As it got towards its second peak, there it is, early on the 11th.
I'd like
And-
to point out, someone in the comment has just said Florence happened in 2018, right?
Yeah. Later on the... It did happen in
Which one?
2006 as well, and 2012,
Yeah.
and probably 2000,
2000.
1994, and
94 and
loads more.
1988.
There's another one of it. That's probably the best picture that we've got there of its second peak.
And for those that don't know, we have, what is it, like 3 or 4 videos of like the whole animation?
Oh yeah, we've got a few videos of it, of course. This is a True Color Aqua Modis image there from the 11th, showing multiple systems there. Florence, Helene, and I guess that's Isaac. There's another one, actually a little bit better, that one, without the gaps. Nice picture. Probably an iconic picture of the year, really. Well,
There's Isaac.
if not for Michael, I suppose. An infrared image, and I'll just end Florence on this one, which is my favourite, from the International Space Station. Once again, just an amazing picture. What really brings it into focus more is at the bottom of that picture there is the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and that just the storm's influence just offshore. Amazing picture, if you ask me.
very amazing picture and very ominous at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to discuss those other Atlantic storms because they were boring. Now let's take a look at, if we can...
And then Leslie's drunk.
If I can get some up here, if I can get my dates right. The Western Pacific. Which one was the first one? Well, Sulik, that was in August, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, we missed out Sulik last time. Shame on us. And Jebi was peaking as a Category 5 just at the very end of August, lasted into September, of course.
There's just the West Pack was like bristling with activity that time of year.
I can show you some
pretty
pictures
crazy.
of Jebi. Well, that was at its near its peak. 165 miles an hour on August 31st. What else have we got? Oh, an old model run. A few old model runs there used for the storm updates. And there you can see it tracked into Japan. Some imagery there, August 29th before peak. That's a blank image. There's an early visible image from near the storm's peak. I think that's just prior. Oh, there's another one clearer. One of the better images of the storm. And that's later on. This is August 30th. That one's red for some reason. I think I was just capturing that because it was a Himawari glitch. There's another one, category 5, clearly in that image. And that. And not that. That was by September 1st. Eyewall replacement cycle looking terrible.
Oh,
and there
dear.
it is
Hey,
looking
I
better.
saw that pop up on the screen. That is
By
not very
September
nice.
2nd it came out again. And there it is now approaching the Japanese islands.
It had a huge eye
Visible image.
when it's like really opened up.
And then there it was, sort of like progression there, moving towards Japan and then into Japan. Then not long after that, we of course had the formation of Mankut. And that was one storm that we were tracking for a very long time, along with Florence. What is there to say about that one? It was a crazy storm. At first was never expected to strike the Philippines, and then did.
Yeah, I just remember seeing the track shift west and west and west literally every day, you know, as we kept going.
Here are some images near its peak on the 11th of September, and there it is again. Category 5 in both images, I should think. Quite easily. And there's another image early on September 12th. And that is will probably be our most famous image of the storm that we captured, at least.
And wasn't that system the one that the International Space Station took about 4 minutes to fly over it? I think we commented during a live stream on it.
Something like that. My memory's foggy, David. And then the next one... The next one was Trami, of course, another Category 5. There it was developing, looking very good. And there it was when it was reaching its peak. Clearly a Category 5, amazing eye in that one. Of course, those who are watching us live will have seen these images go by in real time and in a bit better quality than what we're showing here, because they are just GIF files. Except these ones, which I think are edited a little bit. The first visible image of the day on September 25th, as it would have been local time. Again, clearly a Category 5, another beautiful looking storm. And there it was during its peak again, and September 24th, still looking like a Category 5 there. Moving through, maintained a great appearance for a long time, then it looked like that. By September 28th, its eye was absolutely huge.
How huge are we talking about here?
Well, bigger than Okinawa. Half the size of Taiwan.
Half the size of Taiwan. Well, that's
Well,
not
that's-
exactly huge. We've seen 200-mile wide eyes in that same area.
That's how it looked like on the visible imagery, and it was really a structural mess. And there it was again, continuing towards Japan. They've not had a great year, by the way. And then we had another one, Kongray. There was one image of it. And there's another one looking like a Category 5 there by the 1st of October. That one formed at the end of September. straddling into October, of course. And anything else in the East Pacific? At the risk of missing something out.
I think we were quiet then, right?
Well, not really, but there was nothing that exciting.
August, September had Hector, Liana, John, Chrissy Lane, Miriam, Norman, Olivia Paul, 19, Rosa, and then Sergio and Walaka also formed but extended into October.
Walaka, I think that was...
Of course, Walaka.
Yeah, Walaka, September 29 to October 6.
Yeah.
So,
just
barely clips into September.
Well, there we are. I think that covers pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Craziness that happened in those months, and it kept us busy. In fact, I can tell you that there was pretty much a system active on every calendar day, a storm active, or remnants of a storm active on every calendar day from July 16th to, I think it was the middle of October.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it certainly is. Excuse me. So, if anyone has any more questions for any of the team right now, please send them in. We can't wait to hear questions.
It can not.
10 people have tweeted #BandStrap, by the way.
It can be in regards
today.
to anything. Only 10?
Only 10.
Yes, shout out to
We need
Tropics Weather.
more people. We need more people to retweet.
Thousands of people to tweet #BandStrat. So
yeah,
everyone,
we need to get
so Strat's on board now, is he?
They get all their friends to tweet it, and they get all their friends to tweet it. We do this cycle 14 times, and everyone in the world.
Oh man.
Will that be it?
Hold on, I'm creating a Twitter.
Beautiful. You're learning. You're really learning. You're learning well.
Do you guys think that there will be another Atlantic season like 2005 anytime soon in terms of storm numbers?
Soon? No.
Like how soon are we talking?
I don't know. Open-ended question.
Between now and 2025? No.
Interesting. It's certainly not going to be next year.
No.
Because someone did ask about what's going to happen next year in the Atlantic. Can you show us your prediction for 2019 Atlantic hurricane season? Well, I can't say there's an actual prediction, but if the El Nino remains in effect for some time, then the Atlantic's going to be dead next year, isn't it? But if it goes away, then we might have another season like the recent ones.
If we end up with a scenario where the Atlantic is, where El Nino persists like the first half of the year, and then we get bonus, like extra Westpac activity, and then it goes back to neutral, and we have the chance of seeing an actual Atlantic season, that's probably the worst case scenario that we can see.
I'm not so sure about that. I think... Am I right in saying that coming into 2005, which is either first or second busiest worldwide season on record, was coming out of a minor La Nina?
Yes, I believe so.
Into a cold neutral. So if that means anything.
Well, the 2004 season was also the one with the really strong Western Pacific El Nino.
Yes.
Marcel is entered the chat.
We have now been blessed with an appearance.
Oh no!
By Marcel Holos.
Hi, Marcel.
How are you, Marcel?
You're live, Marcel.
Yes, I am live.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
Very good.
Have you been watching the stream?
No, because.
What do you mean? I see you commenting.
Someone in the chat's really happy to see you, by the way, Marcel.
Yeah, earlier Hurricane Stan asked, is Marcel sick? Marcel, are you sick?
No.
Well,
Good.
his profile picture has... Is that... I don't know if that's alcohol or a bag to his face.
That is
a bag or and he's sick.
character throwing up into a barf bag.
So he's sick. He lied.
Well, the cartoon character is sick. That doesn't mean that Marcel Holos is sick.
It obviously means he's sick. That's how the world works.
Obviously.
Dane asked earlier which member debuts are on today.
Dane just wants to know whether he's on today, and he is.
Someone asked,
And a cynical Tropical Cyclone 100, although I agree with them, says the ban Strat trend is because Strat wants his name to trend.
That is very true.
I didn't want it, but I've kind of just given in to a point. I'm like, whatever.
Strat just
Also,
wants to be famous.
Yep.
I'm gonna be
By
famous
any
for my
means
economics and
necessary.
my politics. I'm not gonna be famous through hashtag ban Strat.
Yeah, you are going to be famous through ban
By the way,
Strat.
Number one on Twitter. Number
Someone
one.
asked, do we think Michael was a Cat 5?
Yes.
Yes.
If you look at our animation for Michael, the answer is yes. So next, do we
Hello.
think Hurricane Paul of 1982 should have been retired?
Hurricane Fall of 1982 should not be retired because the main damage that was caused by the system happened before the system ended up being named. So why would you name why would you punish the storm for something that happened before it ended up being named? You can't do that.
Also, someone asked, is it actually true that the jet stream has become slower recently? And if yes, how would it affect the global weather patterns? If I'm not mistaken, climate change has been causing the jet stream to slow down, and that is going to have adverse effects.
We're gonna need a lot more empirical evidence in order to support that.
That's one area that the jet stream is something I am not well researched on, especially when looking historically. I mean, how do you measure it anyway?
I'm not well researched on it either, but I can tell you that whatever data we do have, it can't go back. It can't go back any further than the satellite era. So we have absolutely no data to say what the jet stream was like in the 1800s or the 1700s or whatever. So we don't really have anything to support saying, hey, the jet stream was this strong then and now it's this strong now. So we don't have anything to really establish a trend.
There are studies though that show a link between the warming Arctic and the melting seawaters there to the jet stream becoming elongated, weaker in general.
It could potentially be a thing because what that theoretically would do, and this is all computer simulation, by the way, what that ends up doing is that because, as you said, the warming Arctic, it creates less of a temperature gradient between the equator and the poles. And what you'll notice with the jet stream is that it ends up creating the warm fronts and the cold fronts and ends up creating those temperature gradients, and it carries the cold Arctic air masses down into Canada, United States, into Western Europe and whatnot.
Question for you in the comments, Devin, when you're ready.
Hold on. Just let me finish this real quick. And if the air mass isn't as cold, then I would guess the jet stream wouldn't be as strong. But that's like...
We need like another decade or so to really see if,
Century, okay.
Oh god, that's too long.
Okay, I am going to watch the live stream and I will be back.
Oh, okay. Thanks for supporting us, Marcel. A question for Devon. Did you really think that Oscar was not a cat too?
That's the look on my face when I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Hurricane Oscar?
I'm gonna have to look up Hurricane Oscar. This is embarrassing.
Wait, are you serious? You know the one that happened on Halloween where the National Hurricane Center saying it was making a quick costume change?
Oh my god, it must have been completely irrelevant.
Damn it.
Yeah, it was an...
Honestly, Oscar was completely irrelevant.
Yeah, I'm looking at this track right now, and it is completely irrelevant. I did not track the storm whatsoever, and was it a Category 2? Was it not a Category 2? It's going to take longer than to the end of this stream for me to make an accurate judgment on that.
People are asking if Leslie was a cat too. Do you want to enlighten us?
we've had a long discussion about that in our Discord
Let's just say
server.
yes or no then.
On our Discord server this evening. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if the National Hurricane Center upgrades it to a 2 in postseason analysis. For me, I would just about very, very marginally go on the no side, category 1 side.
Someone also asked, how strong do you think a hurricane in the Atlantic could get?
Well,
the strongest
2017, what might have been.
200 miles an hour.
The strongest that we've seen, of course, is going to be Wilma.
Yeah, that was.
And that's going to be at minimum 185 mile an hour winds with a pressure of, again, at the highest 884 millibars. That's using the highest pressure estimate for Wilma.
Yeah.
It could have been as high as 190 miles an hour. It could have been as low as 878.
Yeah. I'd just like to mention that.
Could have.
I'd just like to mention that earlier today, 3 computer models predicted Atlantic activity in the next 2 weeks.
Did they back off on it?
Good. I'll be looking
I don't know.
forward to yet another irrelevant
If you could
let's
find
check
out
right
and
now.
see if they're backed up on if they've backed it up with another run saying that something's going
We're
to
gonna
happen.
do that right
I'd be
now.
much interested. I think everyone else would be.
Let's see. GFS is back on with it.
So still on with it then, because it was on with it earlier.
FV3 GFS is not on with it though.
Is it not?
Actually, no, but it tries to show snowstorm for the East Coast in 10 days.
Snowstorm.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah, it says I'm supposed to get 12 inches of snow, which I find absolutely ridiculous because that is not possible.
Yeah,
because we do not get
we
snow in
need a-
December unless it's 2010.
Yeah, it tries to
You
give
know,
heavy snow to
this-
Delaware,
this
Maryland, and
rain-soaked
DC.
summer that we've had, it's carried on right through the fall, and so far it's carrying right through the winter. We already had 1 foot of snow. We already had a snowstorm that put down a foot of snow, and then we end up getting an ice storm.
Sounds
and then
a lot.
we end up getting another clipper system that puts down another 2 inches, and then we get a second ice storm, and now we just had lake effect snow that put down another 2 inches.
Oh god.
Sounds a lot like 2009-10 winter in the UK.
So
Someone's asking.
it's just been rain, and when it hasn't been raining, it's been cold enough to snow, and it's been snow. And we've also had these systems come through with these wicked inversion layers, and so far total accumulations of ice are around 1/4 inch for the month, and that's just insane.
Yeah. Let's see. Someone's asking, will you track winter weather, snowstorm, blizzards, or not? I think that's for our U.S. channel.
The
to cover.
Force 13 US channel
Yeah,
is
it
beginning to
Yeah, I
mobilize,
uploaded a
Tim.
video. I uploaded a video there, looking at some of the snow I had a couple weeks ago. That's on the channel. And someone also asked, what storms do we think are going to be retired in the Westpac this year?
Highly recommend Force 13 US. We'll move on to your second point shortly. Tim, do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah, we've been in depth talking with Nelson, who is head of the Force 13 US channel, and we're trying to get some traction going on getting stuff going for this winter season, and hopefully to maybe put the Australia channel to shame on subscriptions.
There is a
Alright,
competition.
guys, I'm going to drop the link to the U.S. channel in the chat right now so you can all go subscribe to
There's
it.
a competition going on between Force 13 US and Force 13 AU.
And right now, I think the U.S. still has it, but the AU has been closing the gap ever so slightly.
How about
also,
it?
what storms do we think are going to be retired in the Westpac this year? I think the 2 firebrand ones would probably be U2 and Mancut.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who is more likely to retire storms over there. Like, if countries request it or not. Like, I don't know.
Well, does
say that
America care
Mancut's-
enough to request U2's retirement?
It's got to.
Mancut's was a hell of a storm to affect the Philippines, and U2.
Oh, absolutely.
And U2, I think, at least to all of our knowledge, is at least the second strongest storm to affect the Marianas Islands, depending on what Typhoon Karen did.
Well, what's our analysis? 185, but it's weird because of the pressure readings that happen near the center of the storm.
Yeah, those pressure readings.
It's really
like
warm.
Fred said.
Still a massive
Because the
confusion.
damage is clear representation of the Cat 5, and satellite easily supported that, but the pressure was really weird. Unless you had absurdly tight pressure gradients. Once you get
No, it wouldn't have. No.
Unless there was widespread malfunctions on the measurements before they went out. That's the only thing that can make sense.
So you said Mankut and U2.
Yeah, those would be my guesses.
Well, the costliest storm of the year was Jebby.
That's what I was going to say. I can see Jebby getting thrown into the mix considering the area that it impacted.
But that was the strongest typhoon landfall in Japan in over 20 years, right? But that wasn't too surprising.
Possibly, but you got to consider the area that it hit. It hit
Tokyo,
the southern.
Can't remember
No, it hit the southern Honshu, Osaka, down in that area, and that was an area that hadn't been hit in quite a long time.
And I think the third costliest storm so far was Yongdari, which everyone has forgotten about.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Exactly. That was this year, David. One of the storms that you probably did an update on.
That's the storm that
Yes, I know. I've lost count.
Exactly.
I've lost track of all of them.
You know, if you
That's
zoom
how
my
busy.
camera, I'll show what happened. You know, it went up to the northeast like this, and then it looped back around and hit the center of Japan, and then it went south into the South China Sea.
Go around and
Went
start.
back up like this to hit Shanghai, and then it went up towards Beijing.
Strat.
It did a loop-de-loop.
No,
Strat.
Loop to loop.
What are you doing?
I was describing the motion of the storm.
We
I will
just
say
had.
though, we have had a very busy season this year, considering we've had easily 70+ storms covering all three of the northern hemisphere basins, and then we haven't even started with the southern hemisphere yet. So our work is far from done.
We had a couple already.
And 93W still on the radar, but struggling.
I must say, if we're talking about current storms, watch out for the South Pacific, because that current system, 97P, the HWRF says it will get to 140 miles per hour.
Oh God.
Cat 3.
Oh dear.
Category 4. Category 5 on the Australian
What
scale.
What's the intensity scale, Nathan? The last I saw earlier this morning was Cat 3.
It's predicting Category 5 on the Australian scale.
I want to be surprised, Nathan, because I will know around 1440 my time.
Right. Strat, what are you laughing at?
Someone in the chat said that Frank looks high.
Hey.
What is it, Devin?
We're not going to comment about any other people in the project doing this.
And Nathan, with 97p and 4-hour viewers,
Oh, yes.
if 97p was to remain weak, instead of going south or southwest, it would probably adopt a west-northwest. Currently, it's tracking towards the southern tip or the southern islands of Papua New Guinea. But if it remains strong, well, it'll be south or southwest.
All right,
so
then.
Clearly, its intensity is going to dictate its steering path. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that one. I know you are, David. That's your territory.
And that high pressure system, but we also have that massive low pressure system. You can see it on the Himalaya 8 satellite. That
Oh, we're not geared for storm updates today.
I realise that. But
Unless you want
going on.
Oh, someone asked a
now
really good
under a storm watch.
Sorry, someone asked a really good question. Why do you consider Force 13 a project?
Well, what else could it be?
A life experience.
A life experience. You can go with that if you want.
Well, that's a good one. Life experience. But Nathan.
You can go with that if you
career.
Why did we decide it was a project though? Like, why isn't it like, you know, an organization or a community or a channel?
Well, I guess it wasn't a community when it launched.
True.
No.
It wasn't an
But now we have the
organization when it
community
launched because it
tab.
wasn't organized.
Now we have the
And
community
we have
tab,
and we
so
have
it's
multiple
called a
channels
project.
now.
Is
So
this like a
maybe
continuous
it
experiment?
maybe it will be rebranded as an organization, but at the minute it's still a project. But you know, it's just a term.
Is
So
it just
anyways,
because it's like constant? Go ahead. Devin.
Strat.
Plenty of terms are valid for it.
So Strat, I'd just like to say something here. That you're expecting a blowout in the Thursday night football game.
Yeah.
It looks like you're getting your blowout right now.
Who's playing?
Are the
It's
Cowboys
Saints
winning or
versus
losing?
Cowboys, and the Cowboys are up 10-0.
How far into the game are we though?
Second quarter.
Oh, Saints are losing. Heck yes.
Nelson's gonna be unhappy.
That moment
I will be
viewers
very happy if
realize
the
that we're
Saints
supposed to
lose.
be celebrating 7 years of the project, and we're
I forgot
discussing
to say.
American football.
I forgot to tell.
I just want to
Someone
point that
asked-
out.
That's true.
I forgot to tell the world.
Why do you think Man Cut was 894? Because I saw it was 905.
I think that was
we changed it
revised
back
to
899.
898 was revised to
898,
afterwards.
okay.
No, I've forgotten to tell people that it is Force 13's birthday now. We are now on to November the 30th, which is the day that Force 13 launched in 2011.
7 years.
7 years today.
And Nathan?
Alright, I got something for this. Just for you. I need to
Uh-oh.
get something.
This can't be
Oh
good.
no.
This can't be
He's
good.
gonna pull
Strat.
out a can of Flex Seal.
Yes.
No. We got this.
Can we come back to this?
Oh god.
What is that?
What the hell?
What are you doing?
Oh no, is it? Oh.
What are you doing?
Everyone spam ban Strat in the comments right now.
Yeah.
Hashtag ban strat. Take the Twitter,
Yes,
folks.
please.
Ban
Go over
strat.
to that chat.
Here,
Ban
let's check
Strat.
Twitter.
Ban
It's banned
Strat.
now.
Let's check Twitter.
Put it on Twitter. If anyone asks you what's
Ban
ban strat, tell them everything. Oh my goodness me.
Ban
Well,
right now.
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
He's not
You're
sorry.
You're clearly enjoying
He's not
this and
sorry.
you want us
Can you have any
suffer.
champagne to pop for this?
Strat,
Why do
goodbye.
you have
We're
champagne
now
when you're
watching.
17?
We're now watching just short of 4 minutes of Force 13 debuts Part 4. I apologise for how boring and uninteresting it is because I literally threw it together. But you get to see 4 more people's debuts on the Force 13 channel. We'll be back in 4. And Strat, take a long, hard look at yourself. We're showing 4 member debuts today. The first one happened a minute before the year 2017, when Nelson landed.
Guys, here's your chance to say the last thing you'll ever say this year and put it to bed. Go ahead.
This year was a crazy, insane year in terms of hurricane activity.
But Nelson didn't speak in the stream until 4 minutes after midnight. Remarkable.
And somewhere in the studio is Nelson.
Good evening,
We
David,
couldn't
and
quite
Happy
get
New Year
Nelson
to
Good
you.
here in
evening,
time.
Nelson.
Hey, Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson had family commitments, so he came in a little bit late. I actually made the countdown.
Yeah.
And got to see and listen to the blooper reel as I was driving home.
I'm surprised you didn't crash.
It's a long straight bridge.
Oh, good.
But yeah, it's nice to be in a live call for the first time.
Nelson has been an important figure on Force 13 US and in November 2018 won the right to run the project for the next 6 months.
Wednesday, November 21st, 2018. Force 13 US continues to monitor the impacts of the Woolsey Fire in Southern California and the Camp Fire in Northern California.
Next to be heard was Isaac Passett during Cyclone Inawo as it made landfall in Madagascar.
Another Isaac, we've already had 1 or 2 in the past.
Yep. I just wanted to take note on the storm's eye wall. It looks especially strong in the north. The cloud tops are obviously the coldest, and
Even though he was there for the full 3 hours during the Cyclone Inaro coverage, that's actually the only thing that he's been on so far, but Isaac has also been fairly prominent at times in the Force 13 chat room on Discord. During the next big storm of 2017, Cyclone Debbie, it was Leighton's turn to arrive on the project, and it was just me and him for a while on the first hour of coverage.
Queensland. I'm Nathan Foy. I'm joined by someone new, actually. We've got just one of our team members here, but that's fine, and it's Leighton. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
We can hear you very well indeed. How are
Good.
you?
I'm fine.
And we're obviously both tracking the storm, and there is your screen share. I don't know why it wasn't loading at first, but there is the storm. What do you think about it?
It's hard to say. It keeps changing structure. It certainly seems to be struggling though.
Struggling to a degree, yet it's a category 4 on the Australian scale.
Yep, I'm aware of that.
And the final one for today was Dane, who was on the project for the first time, at least properly for the first time, on May 31st, just short of the Atlantic hurricane season.
No, that's the International Space Station that's passing over the storm later.
What I'm curious about is, like, what is the NHC seeing that the models aren't? Because there's no disagreement between the two.
Well, this is the overall model guidance. You know, they're in two camps right now.
Dane also contributed significantly to Force 13 US and has put in over 89 hours on the project since this date. And we know that Dane is watching at this time, so hello. Back to the team who are here in the studio. I suppose we could have invited him, but the room is full at this point, so sorry about that. We've got another, say, 7 minutes or so left to run here, so if you've got any more questions for us in the studio, send us a message. Start your message with Force 13 all in text. A few more minutes for all of that to get any question off your chest for any of the members who are presented in front of you right now.
Someone asked already, will you ever do a North Indian Ocean season animation?
We got the same question last night, and I think we said yes.
I don't remember getting that question last night.
I do remember getting that question.
I don't remember getting that question last night.
Well, your answer is yes, right?
The answer is yes, yes.
Yes, I knew it.
We're probably going to see a lot more of those next year. As a matter of fact, that we'll probably be seeing a lot more of all kinds of seasons next year. The West Pacific reanalysis is likely to finish early next year. And then after that, we're doing North Indian Ocean reanalysis. I say reanalysis, we're talking about the very old seasons. So in the Western Pacific, we're doing a comprehensive analysis of 1884 to 1945. The findings will be published, which have produced some very significant results already. And the North Indian Ocean goes back quite a way as well. Anything we can get our hands on, really. I know that earlier on this year, I did some reanalysis of a lot of the seasons in the 1940s and 50s. So a lot more to come, and obviously more recent seasons as well. It was something else.
Yeah, someone said, is the website going to feature the automated ATCF forecast soon?
Goodness
that's
knows.
on the old site. Someone's wondering if it's going to go onto the new site as well.
Well, the old site was constructed by Jason, and I'm not Jason, so your guess is as good as mine.
Also, someone tagged us saying ban everyone but Strat, and then the person below.
Ban everyone but Strat. Hashtag
I'm the last man.
ban
It's Battle Royale, guys. Get off the battle bus.
Oh, Force 13 Battle Royale.
Okay, that's a bad
someone
word.
also said, will you upload 297?
I'm
kind of wary that person's asking us just so that they can steal it, and then I have to copyright strike them.
Oh, God. Not sure. There's another question there. Will we start doing tornadoes? We've done little bits and bobs of tornado coverage before on the channel, but I think in future it's going to be on the Force 13 US, which will comprehensively, more than the main channel at least, cover US tornadoes in future.
Someone also said, Force 13, when will you ban Strat?
Now.
Wait, no, hold up, no.
Do we have to wait longer?
Okay, let's do this.
Do we have to wait longer?
Please don't.
No.
Should we take a
let's just do
vote?
it.
Vote in the room
Whoa,
right now.
whoa.
Ram,
No,
yes or
guys,
no?
we're gonna do this, guys.
Very much yes.
Whoa, guys, hold up.
Tim?
We can't. We're going a bit quick here.
When I first started the project, I'd say yes, but Strat has redeemed himself, so no for right now. But we're watching you.
All right,
Frank?
Come on, Devin. You gotta stay with me, Devin.
Definitely yes.
2-1.
No,
David?
no, Devin, come on. Come on, Devin.
It's for the viewers, man.
Come on.